Hello everyone. Today let's go over a premium level medium question that I just solved an hour ago. And I think it's pretty good because it's actually a similar question to the famous add two numbers grind 75 question. So it's good to test your understanding of that question by solving all the questions around it. So simply you're given two polynomials represented as linked lists, and essentially each node element has a coefficient, a power, and an x, and simply you want to add them together based on certain rules. So the rules here are that first of all, we're looking for the degree of 2 in both of them. And then if the sum of those, the actual coefficient sums to 0, then we're going to ignore it, otherwise leave it in. So as you can see here, you are given, so for 2, for example, you would do 5 as the coefficient and 2 itself as the power. But for, what's the other example? So for 1, for example, you would not include 1 because 4 cancels out -4. And then you would turn it into a polynode using their API here and return it. So the easiest way to do this, I think, is to simply get all the nodes first. Let's try to parse this input. So, well, poly1, let's just print poly1.coefficient and poly1.power. And we don't want our infinite loop, so we're going to do the next. Poly1 is not defined. Poly1. So you can see you got 1 and 1. So this is not 1 and 1, it's 1 here. Or it is 1 and 1 in this case. So here you got 2, 2, 4, 1, 3. And so same with poly2. Let's validate this. Print statements are a great way to debug your code. So, okay, so 1, 0, that's good. Now what we want to do is make a dictionary to hold the powers and their corresponding coefficient sums. So we can say d poly1.power.append poly1.coefficient. And you don't need to check this because the default dict takes care of checking whether the key is already in the dictionary or not. And so we can do this here as well. D poly2.power.append poly2.coefficient, because we are looking for the powers of 2. We don't care which node it comes from. So let's print the dictionary to check. Okay, as you can see, 2 is 5. This one cancels out. And now what we need to do is simply make this easier. So let's make an array and let's go over our dictionary. And if the sum of the values of our dictionary is equal to 0, then continue. If that's not the case, then we can append the actual sum itself along with, the actual power. Let's print result. Cool, so 5220, 1110. Okay, now we just have to turn it back into a polynode. So I like to create a dummy and then point the current to the dummy, which is going to keep moving. And then we can simply go over result and we can set cur.next equals to a polynode with the parameters. So r.r0 is the coefficient, r1 is the power, and then move our linked list along, and then return the dummy head that stayed at the head is pointing to the linked list. So, as you can see, oops, a legal linked list, the powers must be strictly decreasing. So what we need to do is sort, and I made this mistake earlier. We need to sort by the first one in decreasing order. So reverse equal true, meaning the biggest is at the front. Let's use this. And that should work. Yep, it does. And so, yep, standard linked list question. I think this is a good one to go over. So thank you for watching.